Welcome to another episode of Placement Diaries. Today we have Kshitij Mathur with us. So, sir, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Kshitij. I'm a 2019 graduate from NSIT Delhi, currently working with AP Moller Maersk as an inland operations executive, looking after retail, automotive, and FMCG clients of Maersk. So that's about me.
Great. So, how's the work experience at Maersk?
Yeah, so my focus primarily in Maersk is handling operations, basically inland operations of the Maersk businesses that I mentioned about, that is retail, automotive, and FMCG. So there are a lot of inland businesses that Maersk handles all across India, and I primarily look after the execution and the challenges that are associated with those businesses, and streamlining any issues if there are.
Okay. And how's the work experience?
Yeah, so I've been associated with this organization for about a year now, and the experience has been pretty great. The colleagues are pretty helpful, and since I joined this almost as a fresher, the learning curve has been pretty steep, as it is the largest logistics firm in the world. So the learning has been great. The work experience, the work that we are doing actually transforms to something meaningful at the end of the day. So yeah, the work experience has been really great in the 10 months that I've been here.
So, can you tell us about your college life?
Yeah, so since I'm a 2019 graduate, I joined NSIT in 2015. I'm from the ECE branch. People are pretty scared about ECE and NSIT, the kind of projects, the kind of teachers that are there in ECE. And in college, I was, not the brightest of the kids in terms of academics. But yeah, like when it came to like the placement, from placement point of view, I managed the minimal percentage that was required to clear the cutoffs, and my focus was primarily more on extracurriculars, fests, societies, and so on. So in the first year, I was pretty intrigued by this cultural fest called Moksha that we have, and that was my first time being part of something, being part of the sponsorship team, cold calling organizations, and literally asking them for money to fund our fest and make it successful. And eventually in my third year, I was actually the president of that fest. So it was a great learning experience in those 3 years. Got to work with a lot of amazing people. A lot of seniors in my first year were very, very helpful to break the ice with me, and they actually took me to a couple of sponsorship meetings in my first year itself, which usually was not the case before that. So the kind of exposure that the seniors supported me and gave me literally helped me build that confidence to actually lead the fest in the third year. Along with that, I was part of the Alliance, which you currently are the editor of. And it was a good time. I'm very close to people in the Alliance. They have always been very helpful. And these were my primary focus areas in college. Other than these, I was briefly part of FES and DebSoc, and but I was more inclined, towards the cultural committee kind of a thing. So, which was a fad at that time. So, that's how I would like to describe my college experience.
So, another question is how one should prepare for non-tech placements.
Okay, so there are a couple of things that you should do. I'm not saying must, but you should do when you are preparing for non-tech placements. People usually put a lot of stress on case studies and guesstimates. My primary focus was more on communication. To communicate what I'm actually thinking during the interview effectively, because that's what actually propels the interviewer to actually ask you the right questions, and you have to somehow take sort of a control of the non-technical interview. So obviously most of the companies that come on campus, they ask you case studies and guesstimates. So the preparation is pretty generic. There are a couple of books out there that you can refer, which is standard throughout, and everybody in college is pretty well aware of those. What people don't tend to focus a lot on is how well they are communicating with the interviewer. So even if you are wrong in the way you have perceived the case study, or you don't have any idea about how to approach the guesstimate, just communicate that in a very simplistic manner to the interviewer, because the interviewer is there to help you out. He's there to select you. He's not there to reject you. That's the reason the companies are there at your campus. So you have to try to utilize his help as best as you can to answer questions correctly. The focus is not on even answering questions correctly, but at the end of the day, when you actually join an organization, you have to be pretty expressive or pretty communicative. Your communication should be clear and concise. It should not be all over the place. So primary focus should be on how well you're communicating your thoughts. There should be a sequence or a flow in which you're communicating. Second thing is that, of course, which helped me a lot was being pretty confident in the interviews. So my festival experience, being part of the sponsorship team, actually going to meetings, I did not have any sort of fear when going in an interview. I was pretty chill with all the interviewers, and they also perceived me as such. And there is sort of a happy relationship that I could build with the interviewer during the interviews. So I would say, like, guesstimates, you can prepare, try to practice it with your friends, because you have to work out the approach in a guesstimate. The answer doesn't matter. Case studies, again, try to take part in competitions which are happening throughout the year across various campuses. I actually took part in a few, and it was a good learning experience. Third is your communication skills, and fourth is your confidence. I think in non-tech, these are the ones that primarily make the crux of an interview in a non-tech placement. And इसके अलावा बाकी आपका टेस्ट तो है that you need to clear before the interview. So just if you have like a decent enough math ability and English ability, the tests are pretty easy to clear. So that's about non-tech placements. Yeah.
So how important is the resume for a non-tech placement? Like, what all should one include in his or her resume?
Yeah, so in a non-technical resume, like, I wouldn't say it as a non-technical resume, but yeah, in a resume, in sort of a non-technical placement, what the interviewer is primarily looking for is some sort of spikes in your resume, where you have actually led some group of people in some capacity and actually achieved the desired result, or even if you have not achieved the desired result, how you actually thought of that idea and propelled the people to actually work with you on that idea. Of course, academics plays a very, very strong part in non-technical, because the cutoffs are pretty high. I wouldn't say pretty high, but yeah, definitely they are not judging you on any other parameters. The parameters are very limited basis the knowledge. It's very generic. So of course, academics play a crucial part. Primarily, I think you should have some sort of spikes in your resume, what I already mentioned. Positions of responsibility, some great internships if you have, and how well you are able to explain those internships in the interview. Like, what usually happens is that people might not have interned in great organizations before, and even if they have interned in great organizations, they are not very clear in explaining what their task was during that internship. So that clarity of the work that you did during the internship, that matters a lot in a non-technical placement from a resume point of view, because that is the kind of judgment that the interviewer is looking after. Other than that, some sort of certifications, if you have, if you are good in MS Excel and you have like a certification from Microsoft, definitely adds a lot of value to your resume. Big data is the new thing, so some courses on that. So it's not that just to fill in your resume you're doing the courses. You must also actually be able to pretty well explain that what was the force that drove you to do that course, because the interviewers are pretty experienced and they can easily catch if you have just done that course to add pointers in your resume. So you need to have very, very clear objectives about why you are interested in, let's say, big data, and why you want to why did you actually pursue the certification course, and what are you now going to utilize that certification course for. So how and why are the important things for all the pointers that you mentioned on your resume.
So can you please tell us about the interview process of Maersk?
Yeah, sure. So I applied to Maersk off campus about 4 months after graduating from NSIT. Process is pretty simple. We have to fill out an online application on the careers page at Maersk, and basis that, if your resume fits in the kind of profile that they are looking for, you get a call. So fortunately my profile matched and I got a call from their HR. So initially it's a 10 to 15 minute telephonic interview about why you are looking for the job, what are your goals, and how did you hear about this job, and so on. Very pretty basic questions, quick summary of who you are as a person. After that, the next round is a test. It's an online test. It's called as an LIPI test. In that test, there are about 50 questions that need to be completed in a span of 10 minutes. Questions vary on topics like math, logical reasoning, and English. So first round of that test is an unproctored one, and bases your scores on, if you do pretty well in that test, then I think you're pretty sorted. So then you move on to the next round. So I actually performed pretty well on that test, and then in the next round we have a proctored version of the same test. So the questions are different this time, but it's being proctored, and so it's more of a comparison whether you have not cheated in the first exam or something. So the second test is a proctored one, and once you pass the proctored one and your scores are actually above a minimal threshold that they set, they call you for an interview. So after clearing the 2 tests, I was called for an interview in their Gurgaon office. And in the interview process, the questions varied from what I did in my previous role, what am I expecting out of this role, few questions related to shipping, related to the shipping industry, as Maersk is a shipping organization. So how well I know what are the processes that are involved in the shipping industry, and what are the different kinds of documentations, is there any problem that I see in the current scenario in regards to shipping, and some pretty basic questions like, tell me something about yourself, where do you see yourself in like 5 years in this organization, are you going to stay with this organization for how long, are you going to stay with this organization, and so on and so forth. So basis this, once you are done with the tech, so they call this as a technical interview because it's primarily related to the core job profile. And post that, if you clear that round, then we have a HR round, and HR round is pretty straightforward, where they will ask you a couple of control questions, again, that what exactly do you want to achieve out of this role. You have to be pretty clear about that, and the job responsibilities might little bit vary from what is exactly mentioned in the job description. How are you going to adjust to that change, and a very, very basic HR questions that are part of any interview. And once it's done, then they roll out the offer, and then the final discussion is on the salary negotiation. And once everything is in place, they'll give you the letter of intent with your salary structure mentioned and your tentative date of joining, and a few more formalities that you need to complete, and that's it.
So how was your experience with the on-campus placements?
Yeah, so my experience with on-campus placements was kind of a roller coaster. So I had these huge aspirations that I'll be part of a great non-tech company, and primarily the biggest non-tech companies come on day 0 of placements. Like last Friday or the last week of July, and in the same way, every year during my time also the company had come. I applied and I wasn't shortlisted. So of course I was pretty disheartened, but then I was like, "कि ठीक है, और भी तो companies आनी है." And then I sat for almost all the non-technical companies, even for a few tech ones, despite not knowing anything about programming. So yeah, and I actually got rejected in the final rounds of about 6 companies, all non-technical ones. And of course, when you reach the final round, you always are like, चलो अब तो लग रहा है कि you always feel that हाँ अब तो लग रहा है हो गया है. And at the end, when you get that sort of a rejection, it of course pulls you down. But since there were a lot of since we were all friends and everybody is there with you, you can go through that phase pretty easily. And then finally in January, a startup by the name of Kogoport had come to campus, and my focus was again not on a startup. It was focused on the company that was to come after Kogoport, which was JP Morgan. And I thought, okay, let me prepare for the interviews at JP Morgan. Let me just sit for this company. And I sat for that company without a care in the world. And I had a very carefree group discussion, and the personal interviews and so on. And at the end of the day, somehow I got placed, and the company had come in the dream category. And then I had no clue whether to be happy or to be sad about it. But then, yeah, like the best thing is that during campus placements, don't expect anything from any organization, because anything can happen anytime. You might go with the feeling that I don't want to get selected in that company, and you might actually end up in that same company. So you have to be always looking out that ठीक है, think for all the companies that all the organizations that are coming to campus are good, and at the end you are there to get a job. So as soon as your purpose is being fulfilled, I think you should be pretty fine with it.
So last question for you is, do you have any suggestions for juniors?
Yeah, so firstly I would like to say is that don't be scared to try out something new. People will always tell you what is the right thing that you should do, but then deep inside you yourself know what is the right thing for you. Don't go with the herd mentality that everybody is going for tech, or people are earning a lot of money in tech, so I should be the one focused on that. No, that's a big no. Just always look at what your strengths are, whether you might be good at communicating with people, you might be good at thinking logically, putting things on paper, creating processes, and all that. So then you should decide about what kind of a career trajectory you want to go for, whether you want to go for a master's, go for an MBA, go for a MNC, go for a startup. It's all up to you. So even when I graduated from NSIT, initially I was part of a startup, but I was very skeptical about joining the startup. So that's why pretty soon after joining the startup, I immediately switched on to an MNC. So and always remember that all the decisions that you make are yours. So you have to make those decisions for yourself, not because people are telling you to do so. So be pretty confident that everything will turn out to be fine. You might face a lot of rejections. I also did. Be it in campus placements, be it in placements off campus, you will definitely face rejections everywhere. But you have to treat every rejection as a learning experience. I know people always say that take rejections as a learning experience, but that is the right thing. And because rejections will actually help you improvise yourself and make yourself a better version of yourself. So, and definitely, again, as I said before, don't be scared to try out something new. I graduated in EC and I'm working in a logistics field, so it's completely doesn't align with the field that I have pursued, but it is something that I was always interested in. So it was new and it was a challenge for me, but I took up this challenge and I'm pretty happy now. And also, just for the interview sake of it. I wouldn't say sake of it, but from the interview point of view, uh, try to involve yourselves in societies, uh, cultural committees, because everything is a learning experience that will actually help you be better. Like Fest can teach you a lot about managing finance because you are actually responsible for the accounts of a cultural fest. There's a lot of money involved in that. Uh, if you be part of some technical societies like IEEE or ARIS Robotics, or some of the societies that are there that are primarily focused on the technical aspect of it, you will definitely learn a lot more about how technical projects are actually thought out, how the plan is made, how important deadlines are, how the work should be distributed among the right people, how you should allocate resources to the particular uh, project. So these are a lot of small things which right in the beginning of your career you will not be making these decisions, but as you progress through your career, these are exactly the kind of decisions that you are supposed to make. So these will always act as a learning for you, and try to expose yourself to as many different societies you can, as many try to participate in fests, be it from an organizer point of view or be it from a participant point of view. you know just try to experiment something throughout your college life, and because it's only in college that you can experiment, then once you are part of the working industry, then the life, it becomes pretty monotonous. You are doing similar things on a daily basis, uh, and then the risk appetite is also very small. So try to do as many experiments as you can when you are within the walls of the campus, because there's nobody to judge and what can go wrong in campus, right? So try to expose yourself as much as you can.
So thank you very much for taking out time from your busy schedule. It was really nice talking to you.
Yeah, the pleasure was all mine. Thank you for inviting me, and I would just like to say to all my juniors, wish you the very best for the placement time and for the placement season. And I know that this is a very critical time because of the COVID pandemic, but your entire alumni group is there with you. And if you guys need any help from any of the alumni, feel free to reach out to any of us, and we'll be more than glad to help you guys out. All the very best. Thank you.